So what is good, y'all? It is Anime K and we're back with another video. And guys, look, the camera situation, I got a comment about the camera and I'm gonna say this now. Trust me, the next video you see, or the next two videos you see, there will be a better camera. But you know, just give me like a week or two, the camera will be better. But for now, just bear with me with this camera, bear with me with it. But without further ado, we're gonna get into the video. So today we're gonna be talking about Castlevania. Now, Castlevania did come out in 2021, so like 2 years ago, but I recently started watching it and I finished season 1 and season 2 fairly quickly, right? And I just wanted to voice my problems with season 1 and season 2. And I haven't finished season 3 and 4, but I feel like the first two seasons have to set the basis for your anime, right? And if I have a problem with it, then I feel like I should make a video on it. Now, I could make an updated video on this, don't get me wrong, but this is just my opinions on the first two seasons. Now, just to give you guys a brief explanation on the Castlevania story, there's this woman who goes to Dracula's castle, right? Dracula shows her science, you know, shows her how stuff works and everything like that, and she uses this science and the advanced technology to help out different humans. Now, the church sees this, right, and they accuse her of being a witch, when really I think it was just because churches make a lot of money off people's prayers, people believing that the church can heal people. And I'm not here to dispute them claims, right? If you're religious, I'm not here to dispute that at all. But with this story, at least, right? At least with this specific story, I feel like, you know, she would have been taking the attention away from the church. She would have been taking customers away from the church. She would have been taking people away from the church. So accused her of being a witch and burned her. And that was their first mistake, because when the church burned her, Dracula got angry and decided, look, seeing as humanity killed my wife, I'm going to kill and wipe out the rest of humanity, basically committing genocide, right? Doing it Eren Yeager, right? So that is like the main basis of the story. There's more I could go into about the story, obviously, which we're going to go into today, but that's kind of the main basis of Castlevania. So my first problem with it is the lack of episodes in each season. It kind of leaves a hole in the story for me personally. So for instance, with Dracula, right? My first problem with Dracula is, yes, I know he was upset that his wife died, but they only gave us like one episode with the wife there, which was fine, but I feel like they could have given us more information or just a little more of something, you know what I mean? Like, for instance, with Jujutsu no Kaisen, right, you've seen Ghetto, and when you first seen Ghetto in Jujutsu no Kaisen 0, right, you thought he's an evil guy. I'm sure most fans thought like that hadn't read the manga, right? But then when you've seen season 2 and they actually gave you context on Ghetto and how he was before and showed you Ghetto and Gojo's relationship, everyone started to love Ghetto because it was kind of sad that Ghetto died now in Jujutsu Kaisen 0, and he added value to Jujutsu no Kaisen 0 as a movie and added value to season 2 of Jujutsu no Kaisen as well, because we all fell in love with Ghetto and we were sad for Gojo and their relationship was so good. Whereas Castlevania, they give us one episode, well, barely an episode with the wife in the episode, right? We didn't even know they got married until like a couple episodes after. We didn't even know that would end up being his wife, right? I just thought she ended up just working for him. And like I said, it just doesn't get us invested into the relationship enough. So it doesn't really make me feel that sorry for Dracula at all, because one, we should have got more information on Dracula's travels. So we should have seen at least a couple more episodes of them being together. And if you think, look, that's not the main thing of the story, that's not the main plot, fair enough, but what a lot of other stories will do is they'll give you little flashbacks. What Castlevania could have done is just giving us a couple episodes of flashbacks just for us to get a bit more invested into the relationship and for us to actually care. Now, this is a common theme with this show, because even his son, right, which I forget his name will be here somewhere, right? Why does the son choose the mother? Now, we know he chooses the mother because he basically says his mother wouldn't have wanted all humanity to die. And yes, you could go, well, it's obvious why. His mom was a scientist, his mom wanted to save people, but what made him make the decision of, I'm going to stay loyal to the humans and protect the humans even though the humans killed my mom and burned her at the stake? I don't know, I would have liked to see more of his relationship with his mother and with his father as well, because again, sorry about the notification, guys, but again, I feel like that was another hole in the story that really should have been filled. So I think, and this will be a common theme throughout this video for me, is that there's just not enough episodes and there's just not enough work that's been put into the world building and to this story. But I'm going to move on to my second point. So my second point is Dracula's death. Now, I didn't mind Dracula's death at all, right? I think Dracula should have died, or at least his death didn't really bother me, but The main problem was they didn't do enough to hype Dracula up as a character. Now, obviously, there's enough hype around a character when he's basically the king of vampires, or he's the strongest vampire, fair enough. But I think Dracula, he really didn't get his Madara moment. And what do I mean by that? When Madara was first introduced into Naruto, right? You knew he was going to be strong, he had the hype behind him, and he delivered when he went against 1,000 shinobi. Forget what he did after that. The first thing he does when he gets introduced into the story, he goes up against 1,000 shinobi. Now, most of these shinobis were nobodies, but that's still 1,000 nobodies, and the fact that it was one man going up against 1,000 people and barely even broke a sweat, didn't even activate his Rinnegan. I think he was only really using a 3-Tomei, or it might have been his Mangekyo, but still, the fact that he was able to go against so many people at once, it set the standard for us as viewers of what Madara was going to be in the story, which was a powerful force. And even though Madara's death was kind of shit, right? It was really shit. He still pushed the characters, and he still forced the characters to push past their limits, right? But with Dracula, he had a little bit of hype around him, but again, it's a common theme in this video, they just didn't put enough effort into the story for me personally. And two, when they eventually kill Dracula, right, it just seems kind of easy. One, Camilla comes in, right? Camilla, remember, one of his generals, easily manipulates everyone in there apart from Isaac, right? Does it about a couple episodes, right? They all get manipulated by her. In part, that was Dracula's fault because he made no effort to rest their uneasiness with him, so they were kind of easy to be manipulated, but still, she manipulates everyone in there quite easy. Cypher moves his castle, right? So easy as well. So you'd think Dracula would have a more stronger castle, or at least would have a better defense. He might have a more of a pushback against her doing that, but no, she just moves his castle. Now, don't get me wrong, it did take a bit of a push. She didn't move his castle so easily, right, and so quickly, but still, it just seems kind of easy the way she did it, right? And then when they eventually go to kill him, again, it wasn't convincing to me, really. Like, his death, it didn't seem like the main characters worked for that. If Madara didn't die in such a shit way and say Team 7 actually killed Madara, it would have felt like they worked for it for me, you know what I mean? In order for a main character to shine, in order for the main heroes to shine, the villain needs to be so strong that when the main character overcomes that villain and kills them, it's like the main character sighs a breath of relief, the viewer sighs a breath of relief, everyone's like, oh my god, how did they pull this off? Now, a lot of stories you can expect the main character to win, but it's not about the end result, it's about the journey, it's about how they get to that result is what makes a good story. And Castlevania, again, I just think fails to do this in season 1 and season 2, and Dracula's death didn't really feel like nothing special. I kind of was left with a feeling of, could have been better. And that is a common thing with the stories, that I feel like it could have been better. Now, don't get me wrong, I still enjoyed Castlevania season 1 and season 2, but I feel like the way Dracula died and the way he could have been hyped up and the way the story could have gone, I feel like he could have done more with it. But let's move on to my last point. And my last point with Castlevania season 1 and season 2, right? And we're going to stay on this theme of fights and everything moving too quickly. Let's take the scene before Trevor, Cypher, and I think, let's just call him Dracula's son, right? Before Dracula's son bursts into the castle, right? There's at least 4 or 5 of Dracula's generals. So these are his strongest men and women that are in there. Granted, they are already fighting, but still, that's at least 4 or 5 of his men are in there already. Generals, right? Generals. Cypher, Trevor, and Dracula's son go in there, right, into his castle and kick the shit out of everyone so easy. Don't get me wrong, they had good teamwork, but for the most part, it felt like they were just fighting side characters. It didn't feel like they were even fighting generals. Now, when I think of generals in stories, I feel like, look, these are the people that are just one below Dracula, right? And they easily got rid of them like they were the Anbu from Naruto. Just easily cleared them. They could have put up a better fight. Don't get me wrong, they did put up a good fight, but it wasn't the hype that I was expecting from Dracula's generals. And for the most part, right, the common theme with season 1 and season 2 is, I just feel like they should have put a bit more effort into the story. Now, I don't know if there's a manga, well, there will be a manga to this, but I don't know if they maybe took some material out of the manga or they didn't use all the manga, but overall, the story for me in season 1 and season 2 of Castlevania just feels really rushed, and really it could have been so much better. And it kind of makes me sad because it's like Castlevania has all the elements to be such a great story. You know, it has the world, it has the plot of revenge for his wife, you know, it has families and lineages. It has all the elements to be such an amazing story, but really misses it by not putting enough effort and not really giving us more information and really giving us more backstories and really giving us more flashbacks. I think it really misses the mark. Now look, I'm going to continue to watch it because, don't get me wrong, with me making this video, I still think it's a good anime and I'll still recommend people to watch it, but I would just say the story is a little bit rushed. But I'm going to continue watching season 3 and season 4 because season 3 and season 4 at least have, I think, is it 10 episodes each or a little bit more episodes, whereas season 1 and 2, season 1 has, I think, 4 episodes and season 2 has 8. So we're getting a bit more episodes, so maybe they fix it in season 3 and 4, which I'll give you an update if they do fix it. If they don't, I probably won't give you an update. But yeah, that is my main problem with Castlevania. So look, you guys, if you've watched Castlevania, well, if you click on this video, you probably have. I would say, look, tell me your thoughts, tell me if you agree, tell me if you, and if you disagree, please tell me as well, because I like to hear everyone's thoughts about it, because everyone has different experiences and different thoughts watching animes. And look, like, comment, subscribe, share the video, go check out the rest of my videos as well. Don't worry guys, new camera coming soon as well. Just bear with me, just bear with this camera at least for another video or two. And thank you for watching, listening, or however you choose to indulge in my content, and peace. I am out.